Hello everybody and welcome to another one of these things. Today I'm in the urban oasis, if you want to call a flight path a urban oasis. I'm in the urban oasis that they call the Toronto Brickworks, voted by National Geographic as one of the top 10 ecotourism sites in the world. I think that's a bunch of bunk. I've been to a lot of incredible ecotourism sites and this place definitely doesn't make the top 10, not in my books anyways. Anyone out there who knows any different, please leave that in the comments below. So what are we here doing today? It's we're specifically on the Governor's Bridge lookout, and this beautiful colorful canopy gives you maybe an idea. We're here to shoot some fall colors. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit late to the party because anything below that canopy is a bunch of trees with no leaves left on them. But we're going to see what we can get. Today we're shooting with the Sony a6700 as well as the Sony 15mm f1.4 and possibly the Laowa 9mm f2.8. It might be a good lens for up here to get this beautiful panoramic view. Let's see how this goes.
I'm reinventing myself. I'm me and nobody else. Ooh, I can't help but smile.
Hey there, welcome to the humble studio. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before and those of you who haven't. It's nice to have some new viewers. I don't take this whole thing, too seriously. It's mostly for fun, although lately I've been putting a lot more time into these videos, posting more consistently, and it would be nice to grow my audience and one day, the dream would be obviously to do this full time. I really enjoy this. I really have fun doing it, and fun is sort of a topic for this video. I was out having fun when I was at the Brickworks shooting those photographs, and I'm going to talk a little bit about composition. Often people will talk about the rules of composition. I call them guidelines. I don't think the word rules is conducive necessarily to the creative mind. I don't think that people with an artist's aptitude are going to like the word rules very much. It's often what we go through our lives avoiding. So I like to call them guidelines, and the more you push those guidelines, the more you're going to find yourself developing your own style, in my opinion. There are going to be people with YouTube channels out there and they're going to be like, this is what you do, da, da, da. You'll never hear that from me. You've entered into this hobby or this profession, either videography, photography, because it's something that you enjoy, doing what you enjoy for a living. I used to work as a college instructor a long time ago, and the instructor that got me the job used to say, a sure way to hate what you love is to do it for a living. And I couldn't disagree with that more. I've always been grateful for the fact that I've been able to do what I enjoy for a living, and I don't hate any of those things. Yeah, that National Geographic designation of the Brickworks being one of the top 10 ecotourism destinations in the world. Call me the former jaded advertising guy, but I think someone wrote somebody a check. Not a flex here or anything, but I've been to Manuel Antonio in Costa Rica. I've been to Thingvellir in Iceland and Grosmorn and in Newfoundland. I mean, all these places, they're absolutely incredible. They certainly deserve to be on a list like that. Maybe it's perhaps the uniqueness of the brickworks, the fact that it's in the middle of the city, this huge green space in the middle of the city. And it could also be the dramatic conversion from what it used to be, because it was actually a quarry once with a lot of environmental problems, and they really turned it around. It's a beautiful place, and obviously a fantastic location for photography. By the way, what do you think of this? Some people are gonna really hate this. This is an original from 1978. It is so comfortable. It's got this velvety stuff on the inside. The argument about the jingly jangly strap triangles on the a6700, I think, is completely overblown. These are the same people putting Peak Design toggles on there, which I would argue are even worse. They make more noise, and they're constantly getting stuck on your hand. I don't have an on-camera microphone normally, like almost never. Actually, when I did one time, I had Peak Design toggles on here that I was just testing out, and it was driving me crazy. There was some kid that came over to me that day I was shooting, and he's like, "Oh, cool, you've got the Peak Design, you know, I've got those on my camera too." Didn't have the heart to tell him that I don't like them. Don't like them at all. I much prefer this. Let me stop babbling about this trivial stuff and get to the serious business of composition guidelines. Let's go.
The tree root above this garter snake sort of provided a visual path to the subject. I just had to keep moving the camera around to get the right angle. I wasn't expecting a garter snake to be out in the open like this. I almost stepped on the poor guy. I'm always looking for new ways to shoot the Toronto skyline, and this was kind of cool because you've got the contrast between the natural in the foreground and then the skyline in the background. Managed to get that CN Tower on one of the vertical third lines, as well as the horizon on the horizontal. Years ago now, I put this together for a time-lapse tutorial episode. Here's a strong example of how one might use leading lines. In this case, leading to this explosion of color in the background. Like everyone says, just because it smells good, don't be stuffing it into your underpants. This sign placed on one of the thirds lines for the rule of thirds, also giving it plenty of room. Taking advantage of the rule of thirds as well as leading lines here. The mountain biker just happened by to help me out. I've heard people say keep the sun behind you, but then you'd never get shots like this. Sometimes to find the composition that you want, you just have to look up. I really like the shadow that the trees are casting on the pathway. A few moments earlier, this photo wouldn't have been worth taking because the sun was behind those clouds, so a little less a lesson in composition for me, but a lesson in patience.
Before I conclude here, I just wanted to get off topic, like I never do that. I've been watching some YouTube videos lately where people's talking head like this will be done with very, very dramatic Rembrandt lighting where they really haven't got much fill on the one side. Just wanted to throw out there that what you could do is put your light on a little bit more of a 45, so you get like the wrap lighting is sort of what they call it, but there's another thing you can do sort of to fill in the other half without setting up another light or buying another light, because you know you may have another light, just don't want to set it up, or you just have the one light. What I've been doing lately is using this guy right here. It's just a silver reflector. You don't have to use a professional reflector. You can just throw up some tinfoil or a white card or whatever, but there's no reason you can't use a reflector with artificial lighting. A lot of photographers and videographers only use reflectors you know, when they're shooting outside or even indoors with natural light. Often when I'm shooting these episodes during the day, I'll just use my window light and the reflector and no actual artificial lighting at all. But lately, I haven't been bothering to set up my second light. I've been just using this reflector. Anyway, just something I wanted to mention. I had an absolute blast with this one. I really enjoyed myself out at the Brickworks for this episode. It's certainly a departure from what I've been doing lately as far as content goes for the channel. I'm not sure how much of this I can squeeze in before the snow flies, but I'm going to do my best to keep bringing you interesting content nevertheless. If you guys got something out of this one, as usual, please consider throwing me a thumbs up. If not, that's okay too. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of these, please consider subscribing and turning those notifications on. If you've got any ideas for future episodes, please leave those in the comments below. And until next time, keep working to make your chosen idea a reality. Peace.